Alrighty, good morning everyone. This is my 1983 Honda XR200R and currently it has no spark. So I've got no clue how to fix it. I've got the manual there and we're going to try and fix it. So yeah, watch along and hopefully maybe this helps out with some of you if you're having a similar problem on a similar bike. Alrighty, so now what I can see from my research is there could be three possible problems going on here. Problem A is that the spark little cover here, that's malfunctioning, which can happen. It can break and there'll be no current getting through there, which is an easy fix. Option number two, that might be the problem, is when I've put the tank back on after doing the recent engine rebuild, I've snagged a wire and shorted out the whole bike on the frame. Which once you found that, that's a pretty easy fix as well. And then option three is that it is a 40-year-old wiring harness and it could have some problems, which isn't such an easy fix because you'd probably have to replace the wires. The good thing is though, that because it's such an old bike, it has no battery and all the power comes directly from the engine. No electric start, no nothing. So there's one main circuit really, and it goes from here up through a coil, from my understanding, and up to the light, and then yeah, so that's what we're going to try and figure out. But the first thing to do is take the tank, the side plastics and the seat off. So let's get started on that. Alrighty, so now you can see we've got the tank off, not the tank, the seat, and we've got the side panels off. So now it's time for the tank. Now this is easier than it looks, but it's still harder than the rest. So it's going to make sure your fuel's off. Then it's just undo whatever latch you got on your bike. So these ones here, your bolts at the front, just up here. And then you also want to make sure you disconnect your fuel line from the carburetor, which comes from the tap down, which is a bit hard to see now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll see when it's done. Alright, so with this seat and side panels and tank off, you can see how much of a mess this old wiring harness is, but that might not be the problem. This is the cable we're looking for, trying to find any problems. Maybe this connection here, this is the coil, I believe. And I honestly have no clue on how to go about this. So what I'm going to do is pop this off. I think the first remedy to try and take this spark plug cover off and test this. So we're not pulling apart all this, when really this is the problem here. So let's do that. Alright. So after reading the manual, I think that what I'm going to have to do, because the manual is not clear at all, is disconnect these two screws here, this wire, and this wire here, pull the coil off, and inspect all these wires, and have a look for corrosion, and see where it's shorting out on the frame. So that means another time lapse. Alright, so now as you can see here, I've got the coil and I've just unscrewed the ignition cable, the high voltage cable as the manual says it, from the coil. Now I'm going to get the multimeter, test this section, and then this section is completely out of my league, but I think this part's alright. So if it's not this, then something else is the issue, and we gotta find that. Right, so I just found out my multimeter is flat, so we won't be using that one today. So we gotta figure out another way to figure out what's going on here. So I've gone ahead and disconnected the spark plug cover from the high voltage cable. I'm not sure if those are the correct terms, but that's what I know them as. Just having a quick little inspection in here. Doesn't seem to be too much dirt, and looks alright, not very corroded. So we'll have a look at this cable here. This is the end that was connected to the fuse. That's a pretty good seal, and as you can see, there's nothing really in there. Could use a little bit of a clean. But this end was connected to the spark plug cover, and yep, see, it's got little bits of dirt and the cable is exposed in there. So we'll clean that up with a bit of degreaser and it should be better. Alright, so I've just got a bottle of heavy duty degreaser down here from Repco, and it's probably not what you're supposed to use, but it's what I got. So we'll just shoot it down in there, and put some in this end. And we'll just let that evaporate, and then I'm thinking I might just use a little bit of brake cleaner just so it evaporates a little bit faster through there, and then that should get rid of one of the problems at least. So I'll catch you when that dries up. A problem. Now we can have another look down here. And I've just seen that, there's the camera there. These two cables are looking a bit, they've got the bare wire exposed here and here. Now this may not be the problem. I don't think these are for what we're after, but it's worth having a look at it and fixing it now. So I'm just going to wrap some electrical tape around where it's exposed, just so you can still see the color. You don't want to put it around the whole thing. And yeah, I think I might have just found our problem. As I was putting the electrical tape on this one, this cable here dropped straight out of the heat sink, so that must have been not in there very tight at all. So that, I think that might be the solution as to what's going on here. So I'm gonna fix this one up, chuck it back in, shrink this, and chuck some tape over the end, just so this little piece of bare wire here is protected. And then we'll chuck the high voltage thing back on with the coil, bolt everything back up, and see if we've got spark. And if not, I'm out of options, so that's off to the mechanics. Alright, so now as you can see, everything's back hooked up, and I pulled the spark plug out so we can test for spark. So if I just chuck that in there. If you don't know the way you check for sparks, just by holding it up against the engine block, so it's got something to ground on, complete the circuit, and then when you kick it over, hopefully we should be seeing spark there. So I'll chuck the camera up and jump on and see if we can see a spark. Right, so I'll kick it over, well, I'll hand it over, and hopefully we should see a spark here. It is sparking. Not much, so I think still something needs to be done. And it's got to go into a mechanic soon, because the decompression here isn't quite working, and I don't know how to fix that. That's a bit above my pay grade. So you can have a look at that. That'll be a 5-minute thing, but I'll put the spark plug in, put the tank on, everything back on, and then hopefully we should be able to see it start up, which would be amazing. So I honestly did not think that this was going to happen today. Alright, everything is back on, so I'm gonna take it off the stand and turn on the fuel. Hopefully I hooked that up properly and there's no leaks. And I'm gonna grab some boots and I'll kick it over and see if it starts. Ugh. A bit tight in here. Fuel is on. Looks like we have a bit of a leak. See what I can do to fix that. So right where the fuel pipe in the tank hooks up to the carburetor, it's not sitting properly. And this was happening before, but it kind of went away. So I can fix that later. The leak should be alright for just now, trying to start it up. Hopefully I don't blow up and die. I've got the choke on. Let's see what we can do. Right, we've got to fix this fuel leak. It's going all over the floor, and I'll see you guys later. I've just thrown a bit of rag in there, so hopefully slow down the leak a little bit. Let's see if we can get this thing started. It's an old girl, usually takes a while. Here we go, fuel on. Let's see. There was spark. So spark and fuel usually means burn. So it should fire. Right, I'm going to take the spark plug out and see if we're still getting spark, because this does not sound like it should do at the moment. Well, it's definitely got spark, so got to keep trying, I guess. I have zero clue what's going on here, because to the extent of my knowledge, when there's spark in fuel, usually there's bang. So I think I'm gonna have to do some research, do some Googling, figure out what's going on, and I'll let you guys know in the next episode of Dirt Ranch TV. See ya.